Okay, in this field gear video, we're going to continue with the weapons theme. I've recently had someone here over the last few days post comments on the bayonets video. For those of you that don't know, this was an early video I did asking the question, should you carry a bayonet? This person brought up that they're not going to carry one because they'd rather save the weight from carrying a bayonet and carry an extra magazine of ammunition. Now, the main purpose on the bayonet video was if your rifle can safely mount the bayonet, I think you should have one with you to give you that additional capability. If your weapon can't, then maybe you don't need a bayonet. Maybe you'll be okay with just a knife. Just a basic, hunting style knife. Or some other type of weapon. And then I and this person have gone back and forth a few times here. In the end, the choice is his. But I brought up to him, well, what's going to happen? You're in a situation. You've used that magazine now. You're in close-in fighting. You still have to defend yourself. What are you going to use? Because you're left with an empty, light aluminum box with no rounds left in it. Now, the time it may take you to grab a weapon off a dead enemy troop may be just the time that one of his living buddies needs to take you out with his own archaic bayonet or even his own bare hands. It's always good to have that fallback option. And these types of items here, your melee weapons, don't need ammunition, do they? They just need to get cleaned and maintained. I have no intentions of ever being part of a bayonet charge. But if it's ever required, I'm in a hand-to-hand situation. We're doing close quarters fighting and stuff out on the battlefield. Ammunition's running low. I can mount that bayonet and I can skewer a few bad guys for a while. Until I get a hold of more ammo. And obviously things like machetes, tomahawks, hunting knives, they've been used for generations for a reason. They're still good, viable backup weapons, and you can still get a hold of some good ones on the market. If you want to save that few ounces on your gear, that's your choice. But I personally would rather have that knife or some other type of edged weapon that as a backup that I can fall back on. And I'm of the mentality that I would rather have a fallback weapon that can also be used as a tool. So if I get a good quality tactical type tomahawk, well, I can use that to chop small branches and that stuff, chop limbs and that for use for camouflage and maybe revetting on fortifications and that. Machetes, use it for clearing brush, taking down small trees, and also use it for hacking off limbs in a hand-to-hand fight. A knife, self-explanatory. You can use it for cutting game, cutting materials, or cutting an enemy's throat. I don't have on here war clubs or war hammers. I have read things of people using that type of stuff even nowadays. I've read of people carrying them in World War I and World War II. Using them against enemy troops during close quarters fighting, including in urban warfare. So it's a backup weapon. It's not meant to be a primary weapon. This is your last line of defense before you have to use your hands. And I'm sure someone will say, well, I'll just use the butt of my rifle. Okay, are you using a tactical sling on that rifle? Because if you are, you're probably not going to get that rifle unslung in time to use that rifle butt against the enemy. So then you should have some other type of backup weapon. A knife, machete, a club, something. Things to ponder, things to consider. These are just a few options available out there. There are literally tens of thousands of others. Hell, if you want to carry some type of katana or something like that because you want to look badass like someone from a movie, hey, go ahead, just make sure you get a good one. A lot of the weapons that you will find inside malls and that stuff at the little kiosks are not meant to be used. They're meant only for display. If they would ever get used in any type of defense capacity, the blades will probably break because they're not made of very good metals. And also something that you can guarantee is that the blades will rust and they will be etched by the acids inside human blood. Human blood is not overly acidic, it's slightly acidic. And if the metal is inferior, if the metal is inferior, it can get etched by human blood, which also increases the chances of it rusting also. That's another one of those reasons why you wipe off your blade after you use it on the enemy as soon as the battle's done. You're trying to keep it from corroding the blade, from drying on and causing issues. So, things to think about. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essay ons.